Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to our October check-in. October's almost over, and that's always sad to me. It's just always sad because I love October.
Is so magical. I do believe it is, especially in Minnesota.
I know. And it's been so nice. Besides that one snow we got.
Yeah, right. Besides the snow.
That one time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's been really nice. And
it's been unseasonably warm. And
I know.
So beautiful.
Sad to see it go.
I know.
I know. October.
I know. And then, like not this weekend, but next weekend is daylight savings. And then I feel like we hibernate for
it's daylight savings already.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
And I don't know if other people feel that way when daylight savings happens, but I feel like, well, let's get ready to be tired at 4:30 because that's what happens for me.
It's going to get dark. So wait, when you say next weekend, do you mean this weekend?
No,
or the next?
No, it's not this weekend, but the weekend after that.
Like a little bit of time.
Suck up the sun.
Okay, anyway. So we're doing our October check-in, but before that, we just wanted to make an announcement that we still have our monthly classes for the Super Squad, the $10 members. Finished the Back to School Summit. So if you didn't go download that or if you didn't listen or watch in real time, you can still download it. It's on Teachable. I put post up on Patreon so you can access all 6 classes on Teachable right there.
And I want to say, if you join our Super Squad today, you get all of the classes.
Yes.
So they're all there now. Yep. Like even if you hadn't been a member,
if you didn't see them live, you can still see them.
Exactly. They're right there. So, and then also just remember the Back to School Summit isn't just for back to school time. These are just all, it is really helpful for starting, getting back to school, but it's also just so many of our important tenets of for sure. Homeschooling and just our philosophy and just helping you out so practically.
Yep. So, and also like these classes, I've said this before, this is our best work. We put so much work into this, and just like I just feel really good about it. I feel so like after we're done, I'm just like, this is so good. I'm so glad we're talking about these things. So I really hope you check it out. Definitely. So
and I like to use the word revolutionary. I do. I think it is. I mean, I know that sounds like I'm really hyping us up, but it is revolutionary. I mean, when you think of, I think sometimes we can be in our own bubble and we're like, this seems just normal to us.
Yeah,
but it is revolutionary to the mainstream culture of learning and education and parenting for sure. Family, so.
Yeah, so our next class is not a part of the Back to School Summit, but we're just going to have monthly classes from now on. And we are starting a new series, and it's a What We Don't Do series. And we're really excited about these. So we're going to talk about...
We are. We're passionate about what we don't do.
Yeah. So that's going to be next week. Well, depending on when you listen to this, it's Thursday, November 3rd. So like if you're listening when this comes out, it's next Thursday. We changed the time to afternoon, 1:00 in the afternoon.
Yep.
So we hope that maybe that'll be better for you guys. I don't know. Also, you can come and like turn your camera off. Like you do not have to interact if you do not want to. You could just be like, put your earbuds in while you're doing whatever.
Do whatever you want to do.
We know you're doing a million things, so
no pressure to like get involved, but also we will have time for
a Q&A
at the end, but that's also 100% voluntary.
And these are going to be a little bit shorter because we also feel like maybe the hour is like too much of a commitment for people. So it's going to be half an hour and then 15 minutes of Q&A. So we hope that's like more doable for you, and we hope you check it out. If you can't come live, you can get them recorded as usual. So
absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Angela, let's get started on our check-in. We do like to hit what's going well, what's hard, and how our self-care is, but we're going to just probably hit those things as we talk.
This might be a little tricky for me because my stuff didn't go into categories.
And I think that's
to
totally
this
fine.
Month. This month it just didn't.
That's a check-in for you. That's our life. So
just check in. Yeah. So Maren, I know you have stuff to share
I do.
that I'm dying to hear about.
Okay.
So let's hear it.
Which one? What do you want?
I'm dying to hear how your subbing went. Maren subbed today.
Yes. Okay. So I started substitute teaching.
And so tell us.
This is my first day.
First day today.
This is my first day ever. And I just want to do it like once a week. And I will tell you, it's for a variety of reasons. Number one, just financially, it would be great for
Yeah.
us as Sean and I are like starting some businesses and things like that. It would just be great.
Yeah.
Over the holidays to have a little extra money, right? And birthdays. All of our birthdays and
Oh yeah.
holidays are coming up, right?
Birthday season.
Birthdays. Anyway, but also like I also kind of miss teaching.
Yeah.
I was a classroom teacher for 8 years, and then I homeschooled for 10 years. So I do feel like I got my fix of teaching when I was homeschooling. I did.
Yeah.
I felt I was in my teacher mode a lot. So that felt good. And now I'm not doing that. So I kind of like need to scratch that itch. And I don't know. My kids aren't young anymore, and I miss young kids. And so there's just a lot of reasons. Another reason is, as I don't know, an educational advocate, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what's going on.
Yeah, right. You want to be in the know.
I do. I want to know
So
what's
is this
going
your
on.
first time in the classroom in how many years? Like in a traditional classroom?
15.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And actually, I taught actually at a public schools in a public school today, which is even different than, I taught at a charter school, which is just a smaller, more personal.
It's still a public school, but
it's a public
different.
school. It has to meet state standards and everything, but it is just like has a smaller feel. This is like a big public school, and it was. I just want to say, just hug all your kids. I understand that like you might maybe you have kids in the public school system. I think that's great too. I just think this school in particular was real tough. It was a tough school.
Okay.
It was, I don't even
start with
know.
the basics. What class did you, what did you teach?
I taught, okay. So it was a Montessori public school.
Okay.
Which is, I think, real interesting because it's, when you have to meet a bunch of state standards, it's really hard to do Montessori. I think it's hard to like melt this very holistic, I don't know, philosophy into these state standards. So it was, that to me was like, it didn't, I don't know, that didn't work for me for sure. I just have to say that. I'm just gonna say that right now. Like,
sure. Gotcha.
Oh, you want to, like, if you're looking for a Montessori public school, just like for sure check it out first. I think some of them are really, really like to adhere to it, and maybe it was just this classroom, it just wasn't.
Okay. It was an elementary. Did you have?
It was sorry, yes, it was the 1 to 3.
Oh, okay.
Grades 1 through 3.
Yeah. All right.
So, and it reminded me of just, I don't know, all the reasons why we homeschooled, to be honest. It reminded me of all the reasons why we homeschooled. I was just very thankful that we had done that. And it also reminded me that our school system is very much set up for neurotypical, I'm going to say upper middle class people, kids.
Yeah.
And these kids that I taught today were definitely not neurotypical and definitely not upper middle class, like for sure. Probably most of them living in poverty, and our school system isn't set up to support those kids. It just isn't. And so, it was just tough. It was just a tough day. It was a tough day. And I realize subbing is tough anyway. I mean, it just is, right? To come in and just see, but I also think, oh wow, like there just wasn't that intentional like relationship building, or I just could tell, meeting kids where they're at. No.
Really?
No.
How big was the class?
It was 25 kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I think on the outside, most people would be like, Montessori school? 25 kids only?
Yeah.
Multi-age?
Right.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
Yeah. Theoretically. Yeah.
But it's still really hard.
It was hard. And I talked to a few teachers, and they kind of said the same thing. I was like, I'm having a tough day. I was like, is this typical, or like, am I just not doing a good job? And they were like, it's a tough class. It's also been it's a tough, like, all of our classes are tough right now, is what they were all saying too. They were like, it's just hard right now.
Okay.
It's just hard right now.
Is that like post-COVID and all of that?
Yeah. And that's what they were saying. They were saying like a lot of these kids haven't been in school for any of their lives, and they're coming in and they have to meet, fit into this school system. that is not really set up for them. And so, they started school. When they started school, they were online, and I don't think they've recovered. I just don't think they have. I don't think they've recovered. And I think the teachers haven't either, to be honest with you.
Wow.
I think it's taken a toll.
Yeah.
For sure. The teachers seemed just tired and worn out. I will say that. Yeah.
And it's only October.
And it's only October. And so I was a little disheartened. I was like, I also feel like as a white middle class woman coming into this school, I was like, what these kids don't need me and shouldn't. I just think I felt uncomfortable being the person, leading them or correcting them or doing any reprimanding. It just was not right to me. It didn't feel right. And I just think, we need more representation in these schools.
Yeah.
For these kids to feel empowered and understood. And I just don't think they need that from me. That's not what they need.
So
another white woman to come in. That's how I felt. Yeah. So anyway,
okay.
I do think also though, like, unfortunately, I think what it means for me is I'm probably going to, teach at a different school that maybe it's smaller. Maybe it is a charter school that I'll go find, or maybe, that's more fostering more, teacher support and kid support. But I mean, that's like interviewing the schools basically is what I'm going to have to do. So we'll just see where this goes. I don't know.
Well, yeah,
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah. You're going to have to just try different things and you'll probably find just a place that you like and then you stay there.
Yes.
Were you able to pick this one or did they just assign you? Or?
I did. I picked. Yeah. I mean, you would not believe there's just like teachers.
So much need, I'm sure.
Literally, like I could probably walk into school and be like, I would work for you, and they'd be like, please, like here's the contract. Yeah, I think that there's just a desperate need for good teachers. So
good for you.
Yeah. I don't know. It does make me, it kind of fuels my energy for change, like working for change, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. And I do think like, voting with our school choices is what we've done, homeschooling.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is, we want something different. So anyway.
Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah, I know.
Was there anything good?
Well, of course, I love the kids. I do love the kids. And I definitely missed that.
Were they excited to see you? Because they're young. And so kids are like, usually.
Some of them were.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they, of course, what I love about this age, and this is the age I really love too, is 1st through 3rd grade. I just absolutely love this age. They want to tell you everything. I got stories of everything that has happened in their life.
Yeah.
As long as I can remember. So I just loved that. I love hearing about it. I love that those kids actually still want to some of them wanted a little like cuddle and hug or whatever. I just love that so much. I love it. Even though I'm not supposed to touch kids. You're not supposed to touch kids. Been told. So, but I was like, I don't know. That's hard. It's endearing.
Yeah.
They're just, yeah. They need so much.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I've been curious how it went.
Yes.
Are you going to do it every week? Like,
I will see. Yeah, I think so. I think, but yeah, like I want to be careful in choosing the right school that I think is going to be like, I want to be the right fit for sure.
Are you going to be open to trying other ages, like middle school?
Maybe.
Or high school?
I don't know.
Because in some ways that's easier, especially high school.
Do you
only get them for an hour. Well, or middle school, you get them for an hour and then you get a whole new kids. So if it's not going well,
it is
only
true.
An hour.
Yeah, true that. Yeah. Good point. I mean, it's good to remember that for sure. I was thinking my daughter was like, Mom, you should just teach middle school. Middle school is so chill. And I was like, really? Wow. It's because she's in middle school.
Yeah, right.
Anyway. So, all right. Okay. How about you, Angela? I know you have so much to share too. And I've been dying to hear.
Oh, well, we just got back from New York City. I got back late last night, and we've never been. This was our first time as a family, and me too.
Yes.
And we've been wanting to go for years, but then, all the things happened, including COVID.
Yep.
And so we never went. And then now my oldest, Georgia, is a senior. And so we were like, we need to do a New York City trip, because I realized this summer when we traveled that traveling with the teens is one surefire way that we're all together.
Yes, that's so true.
We're all there and they're
Yes.
excited about it.
Yes.
They're for the most part pretty much excited about it.
Yes.
And I think it will be that way, like, even when they're like in their early 20s or whatever. Who doesn't want a free trip to somewhere, right? So sure, parents, I'll go with you. And so I was like, we need to plan this trip, and we had fall break, and so we went to New York City. We planned a trip to New York City. Well, then my oldest, Georgia, hold on, I got a cough. It's okay. My oldest, Georgia, is looking at schools, and she didn't really start till the summer, and she's a senior, and a lot of that was COVID related, and some of it's personality, whatever. But she wants to do acting. And
awesome.
She's at a performing arts high school right now, and she didn't decide for the longest time if she wanted to pursue acting or not. She wants to, but she didn't know if it was practical or whatever. And finally she made the decision. And so then she was like, well, since we're going to be in New York, we should see a couple schools. And then it turned into basically we visited 8 schools.
When
we were there.
Gosh.
So
that is a lot.
It was a lot. So
that's so much.
Jeremy and me and the 3 kids were there we did our like family trip touring New York for like 3 or 4 days. Then the 3 of them left, and just Georgia and I stayed for the extra 3 to 4 days and visited more schools. So I'm really tired. It's a lot of visiting.
I bet. So you just came home yesterday.
I came home last night really late.
Last night.
And I take my pills for flying. I have to take some anxiety medication for flying, because I'm not a good flyer. And it works pretty well. The unfortunate thing is, like, I'm still feeling the effects today. That's just, it's fine. It's just, it takes like a while to wear off. Like, I had a hard time getting up. So anyway, so I'm trying to think of the highlights. Like, what was it? Obviously, like, New York was amazing as a visitor, seeing all the touristy things.
Did you see?
I loved the city.
Things?
Yeah. We saw touristy things. Loved the city. I realized, like, I love cities. I do. I love traveling to cities. I like nature stuff too, but I also love cities.
Yeah.
And so New York was like that,
definitely. Definitely.
And
the city.
Yeah. And it was surprising in some ways. Like, I've heard different things about it, and those were like stereotypes that weren't true. It was like really great. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's expensive, but it was great. Too. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So and then so we did the touristy things, and then also the college things. And what I learned from the college tour, if I could encapsulate it, it was an obvious thing that I didn't know. And that was, you should visit colleges in person if you want to go to college.
Yeah.
Because, like, within 10 minutes of setting foot on a campus, we knew if this was a fit or not.
Wow.
It's something that you can't get from a website or a video or something.
Definitely.
And, like, I knew that about K-12. Like, and I've been saying, and you and I talk about that, like, people will say, like, well, that's a good school, or that's not a good school, or whatever. And people have their own opinions, and it might be good or not good for them, but for you need to visit to see, like, would this be good for me or my kid? And usually that tells you everything when you visit a K-12 school, right?
It's amazing. Do you feel like did you do the tour, like an official tour on all of the schools? And was that important as well, or just was it stepping foot on the campus and walking around?
No, the tour was important. And we did tours on all but one. One, we couldn't get a tour. We just walked around. But the tours were interesting, and I feel like I could I mean, I don't know if you guys want to hear about this, but it's been a while
I
since I've been
definitely
to
want to hear.
college.
Yes.
You want to hear? I don't know. Okay.
Oh,
Well, I
absolutely.
mean,
I
it's
think
kind of like,
it's interesting for
I don't know if
everyone
it's
for
that
sure.
interesting, but what's interesting is because we were doing 8 tours, I was like, I don't need to be at your school for hours. Like, I just give me the quick tour.
Yeah.
And
Right.
we signed up for the 1-hour tour, right?
Sure.
For each place.
Yeah.
But one of the schools we signed up, they didn't have a 1-hour tour option.
Oh.
All they had was their open house for prospective students that was like 4 hours long on a Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, I guess we'll go to that, even though I didn't want to, because Georgia and I were like, we'll go get the tour and leave.
Yeah.
That was our.
Yeah.
But what we found out was that like the open house like showed us more of their school, and they were like, the energy was good. There were balloons, there were lots of prospective students. There were lots of different people to talk to. Like, you could talk to someone in the drama department, lots of different tours, and like they like rolled out the welcome mat. Basically, they were like, oh, you're Georgia from Minnesota who's interested in drama, great, we're so glad you're here.
Yes.
It was that kind of environment, and I think that, and we met lots of different students, so I think that helped her feel like she could see herself there. Whereas the other places, like sometimes the tour was just us, one random sophomore who may or may not be a good
right.
like picture of what that school could be. Like, they might be like, oh, I don't really know drama or whatever. Sorry, I can't talk about that. But here's our admissions office. Here's our, gym. And then, like, they're just like walking around and pointing stuff out. And so it was hard to really get a good picture. So like, I didn't want to be on the campus for 4 hours, but I could also see that was
the
helpful.
value. Yeah.
The value.
They did it
helpful.
right. Because it could be, there's a lot of ways you could do 4 hours. not well. It could be real tough. But sounds like they did it right.
Yeah. And the place you met was like the student center where the Starbucks was. And
show them where the Starbucks is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Whereas like some of the places, it was like you just met at the admissions office, which was like on the corner of campus. It's not like inviting. There's
so interesting.
It's so like, it's just also interesting, like what they choose to show you, like, and like some of the places like showed us their best dorm, and some of the places showed us their worst dorm. Like, here's where the freshmen or whatever. I don't know, like, it was just very interesting. One of the places we saw, I think probably was a good mix. It was a tour, and then automatically after the tour, they schedule a half an hour with an admissions counselor. And so we got the tour, and then after that, they were like, hi, I'm admissions counselor. I know you. You're Georgia. I've read about you. You're from Minnesota. Wow. Okay. You're interested in drama. And we sat down with this person for a half an hour, and I didn't want to do that. I was like tired. I was like, I don't really want to meet with a admissions counselor.
Yeah.
But then after doing it, I'm like, okay, yeah, that was really helpful.
Okay.
And I'm glad that I did. And that's probably a good idea.
Is it because they gave Georgia some good advice or some good information?
They were like, okay, let me tell you about the drama program. Let me tell you like about the cost. Because also cost, you guys, oh my gosh. I knew college was expensive, but I did not know how expensive. I did not know. I did not know.
I don't think. Oh my gosh! I don't think you know. I'm afraid to know. I'm afraid to ask. Honestly. Okay. And then I was gonna ask something else about that. Okay. So I was gonna ask this. Yeah. When you went to the 4-hour.
Yeah.
open house.
Yeah.
Is that one of the colleges that you both felt had a good feeling about?
Yeah. That's the one that she wants to go to.
Really? That's the one. So one
and
kind of outshined the rest.
I don't know if it's because of the way they presented themselves that made her feel comfortable, because maybe if the other colleges had done that, she might have liked it better.
Yeah, for sure.
But she's also
the fact that this college thought to do it this way means they're probably being very thoughtful.
I think other colleges do that too. I think they have open house days.
Oh, okay.
But we were just like, no, do you have any tours on either of these days? Because that's when we're going to be there.
Yeah.
And then they like scheduled one for us, So, I mean, so I've looked since on some websites for different colleges, and they do have open house days. And then where you can like meet with your major, somebody from your major or
Yeah.
whatever. But the thing that the thing also is that stepping foot on the campus, we're looking for, are there other people like her?
Yep.
Does this feel like a place she could fit in? And you could usually tell just by
for sure.
the things they choose to put up on their walls and the kids who are walking around and all of that. You could usually tell, like, could I fit in here? And that was important. And so the other thing was like, so because she's a senior and this is October, she's already like applying, like, so there's these 8 schools, say she's already was going to be applying to all of them.
Yeah.
Well, now that we visited, she's cut that down. She's only going to apply to 2 of those because we visited, it wasn't a fit. And so that's why I'm like kind of wishing we would have started this earlier, because then she wouldn't have had to go through all this trouble of like trying to apply to these places when you can just go to campus and see like, do I like this? Okay, yeah, I'll apply.
Absolutely. So do you see the value in starting this like earlier?
I know. Yes.
Junior year?
Also, I hate that too, because I just feel like this is such a pressured process.
It is.
It's so much pressure. And that's why we didn't start till later. I was like, don't think about it. It was a hard year for her last year. We're like, just don't even think about it. Let's just worry about it later.
Yes.
And also for her, she knows what she wants to do, drama. I think there were a lot of kids, and this was me, and this was a lot of kids on the tours. They're like, I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
And in that case,
which
I think
is probably
it's
more
harder.
common. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more common.
Yeah.
So she knew she was looking for drama. She knew with drama too, like there's the admission or the application process is much more involved. And you have to start even earlier, whatever. So, but I think if you're just a regular kid who doesn't really know what they want to do, maybe you don't need to start earlier.
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure.
So
I'm trying to remember what we did. I'm sure it's so different now.
Yeah. I visited one college by myself without my parents. And then I applied with my pen and paper, and they accepted me, and I said, okay.
Yep.
That's what I did. What did you do?
I remember I did some college visits with my youth group.
Oh, okay.
My church youth group. We went to a bunch of college visits. And that's what I remember.
Good job, youth group. Because they're like, let's take these kids on.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I ever went with my parents anywhere. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. And I did apply to a few because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure either. And yeah. So yeah. Handwritten essay. I remember handwriting that essay because I was like, this has to be perfect.
Yeah, you wrote it out on a piece of paper first, and then you wrote it on.
Yep, and then wrote it on the actual application. Yeah, paper. I know.
Yeah, I know.
Can't believe it.
I know. The other thing I was thinking is high schools. Take all the kids on college visits. What are you doing? That's what you should be doing senior year.
Agreed.
Why? Yeah. This is like, or take not even college visits, like whatever. Take them to different job settings, different whatever. Just show them their options, because we are having to do this on breaks, which should be a break. I'm like, at first my kids got an unexcused absence.
Oh my!
And then I was like, no, we were visiting colleges.
Yep.
Like I'm just like, this should be your focus senior year. And why not do like do one field trip a month, even to a different college or whatever. I know they have some colleges that come to the high school. Remember that? They did that when we were kids too.
Yeah, I think so.
Like a college would come and a representative would be sitting in a room, and if you wanted to visit them, you could. Well, that's fine, but that's not giving you a good picture.
Right. You're not going to get the feel. You're not going to get the Starbucks.
No.
Oh my gosh. What a huge thing you just did. Way to go. Give yourself credit for all now of that.
Now I'm like, we got to visit all these other places she's applying.
Do you?
You know? I'm like, we got to get her.
How many more are there?
She's got 3 in Chicago. And I'm like, we got to go to Chicago. We got to get there so that she knows. Because maybe they're all a no, and then you don't need to waste your time.
Yeah. Yeah. And it would be real tough if, waste your time just doing the application, but also don't waste your time or money going there.
Going there.
Right?
I know.
mean, you might end up at a place that isn't right for you. So,
yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for all your, trailblazing there, because I'm glad you're doing it 2 years before me. I will say.
Yeah. Well, I'm already like, oh no, my next kid is a
Coming up.
sophomore. And I'm like,
Yeah.
we need to start soon. But then I'm like, no, I do not need to put pressure. This is just, we should wait. And then I don't know. I am torn about it. So anyway,
it's probably a good to take their lead too on that. Maybe they want to start early, and that's great.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe they're not ready for that.
I know.
I mean, also, I really see the value in doing a gap year.
Totally. Me too. Me too. I actually hope my kids do that.
Yeah.
Georgia did not want to. She doesn't want to. She wants to be with a group of kids.
Like her age.
Like
coming
her
up
age.
right out of high school.
Yeah. Or any time. Like if you take a gap year, it's like, what could you do with a group of kids your age?
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. In that year, I get it. Yeah.
Like she could get a job, but would she have a group of friends her age? And that was really important to her.
For sure. Yeah. Understandable. Like, definitely. I can see that. Yeah. Okay. I was just going to share one.
Yes.
Well, do we have time?
Yes, we have time. I want to hear.
I was going to share a little bit too about, I am giving myself credit. This is a check-in on my self-care, but I finally set up my appointment to get my annual visit.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. And did we all know that you only get pap smears every 5 years now?
Yeah, I know. I knew that. So like,
okay,
what am I going for?
I know. Yeah, I know. Right. So
I mean, I know there are other things.
I had to do that.
Okay.
But actually I went in, and I'm so glad I did. And I'm still going to a midwife, which I asked them.
I was wondering,
46-year-olds go to midwives? And they're like, yeah, because it's women's health. It's women's health.
Maren, thank you. Because, oh my gosh, I don't know who to go to. I have our family.
I know.
Doctor who's like, I feel weird. It feels weird if you do a pap smear on me. I don't know why it feels weird.
And I am going through perimenopause. And so I'm like, I don't want to talk to a family doctor about midwives do that? Yeah.
Okay, because here's the deal. I was seeing a midwife.
Women's health
many years
is what she said. She's like, this is women's health.
I'm going to have to get the name from you.
Okay.
Because I was seeing a midwife after I had my baby, and she told me, oh no, you still keep seeing midwives, even if you're done having babies. I was like, okay, good. Then she retired, and that whole practice closed. And so then I called someone else. I was like, can I see a midwife? And they were like, are you having babies? And I was like, no, I'm this age or whatever. This was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, then you don't see midwives. That's only for childbearing.
Okay. So then did they say, like, go see a family practitioner or an OBGYN?
Yeah. I'm like, I know, I need to know who to see.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I need a family practitioner for whatever.
I know.
And then can't we just get one person? I just want one person for me.
Would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That would
okay.
be
So you saw a midwife. Who talked to you about perimenopause.
Yes. Okay. And it was really helpful because I just listed off my symptoms, and she right away was like, it sounds to me like you need what am I trying to say?
Hormone, an IUD?
An IUD. Okay. An IUD. Thank you. It's like, it's 3 letters. What is it? Yes. An IUD with progesterone in it.
Oh, okay.
And which I was like, you know what? I remember first of all, in my 20s, I don't even know what I do. I can't even remember. Birth control, like pills, have never been good for me. Like I've gotten sick from them. Like I can't even. Yeah. And so I don't know. So, and I've heard tough things that, there are lots of complications. So I was like, I don't know how I feel about that progesterone. And she convinced me. I'm just going to say she convinced me. And, she was like, listen, all of these symptoms, I was telling her, I don't know if I've talked to all of you about this, but I have felt like for at least 2 days out of every month or every 3 weeks, which is how often I get my period now, for 2 of those days, I feel like I need to go hide in a cave. It's like, I feel like a different person. I really do. I feel like a different person. And I feel like just even throughout the month, I'm like more, like things are harder. I, can get more emotional all the time now. And which is, it's fine to get emotional, right? But it's just different than how it ever has been for me. Ever, ever, ever.
Yeah.
And then also I just feel more awful. I just feel awful when I have my period, and which is also never used to happen to me. I was very unaffected by my period for probably 45 years of my life. And so, or whatever,
well, not 45.
No, but like till I turned 45, probably just like
30. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It just felt very unaffected. And this like the past year especially has just been it just like, I feel like, I don't know, like I'm like taking care of a new baby or something.
So what
taking
ways
care
do
of
you
my
feel
menopause,
different?
my perimenopause. What's that?
What ways do you feel different? Like, why do you need to hide in a cave? Like, is it because everybody bugs you? Is it because you're mad about things? Are you sensitive to different?
Yes.
Okay.
All of that. All of that. And then
Okay.
also just super tired. So tired. I don't know. Just, yes. It's just like everything is hard. Everything is the worst and I can't handle it.
Oh my gosh.
I
Okay.
know. And it's just amazing. Like I'm like, this is very obvious that it's perimenopause because it's just so different. It's just so different. So anyway, I was telling her and she's like, I really think you would do well with this.
Okay.
So
good to know.
And it honestly took me about 24 hours to decide.
Because you were thinking it over. Like,
I was like, I gotta think about that because really it wasn't on my radar to do that. And I was like, I just need to take a second to think about this. Do I want to deal with,
possible side effects?
A different kind of different kind of hormone side effects, right?
Yeah.
Progesterone
and an IUD is like, it's not permanent, but it's, it's enough. It's
right.
Like
so
inserting a device. It's
anyway,
a big deal.
Yes, I haven't. I have just set up an appointment to get it done.
Okay.
So I'm just feeling really good. I'm just feeling like I already felt relief when I set up the appointment.
That's
which is probably a good sign. I was like, this is
she
probably
took
the
you
right
seriously.
She did. Yep. She took me
That's
seriously.
so great. That's so great.
Yep.
I feel like everybody our age is talking about this.
Yeah.
And I'm 47 now. You're 46.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the talk.
It's the talk. It is.
It is. It's the talk.
It's happening.
And I got to be honest, I'm not feeling any of it.
I can't. I am so jealous of you right now.
Well, I think I'm just, I think I'm going to be a late bloomer. I did just text my mom because I was like, have you asked your mom? Is this like typical for what she?
Well, and not so much about the mood stuff, but just periods. Like I just this summer, just when we were together once, I was like, I just got my period and it is so heavy. It is, it was, and she was like, oh, just wait. Eventually you'll, she was just saying it's going to get really light in just a little while. Like, really? Because I don't know. It's
not there yet for you.
It's not there yet. And I don't see it changing at all. And it's been probably 6 months.
Thing. Like,
so I don't know. Like I
think our mom's generation, like doesn't talk about this. Like they barely talk to us about our periods.
Exactly.
So like they're not telling us like, oh, this is what you should expect. And so I think that would have been helpful. Hopefully that'll change moving forward.
I hope so. I
did just text my mom and I was like, Mom, all my friends are experiencing perimenopause, the period before you lose your period.
Yeah.
What did you experience? And she was like, oh, I didn't like go to perimenopause till the last half of my 50s. That's what she said.
Wow.
And I was like, okay.
Wow.
And she said, and what happened was she got really, I hope my mom's okay with me sharing this with the patrons. She got really heavy periods for like a couple years and then it was over.
Okay. But no,
otherwise that's what she said. But also like, I don't know.
She may not remember.
Really remembers,
yeah.
Like even kept track or whatever. But
that's what I think about my mom too. She probably, who knows? Like, what does she's saying pretty soon it'll just be
pretty
like
soon
you'll have such late periods and they'll be so far between. And I'm like, I'm not banking on it. I don't know. They say it could be years. It could be years of this. And I'm just not willing to wait any longer.
Okay. So the IUD, you're still going to get periods.
Yeah. She said, you might not get periods.
Oh,
you might not. But if you do, they'll be much lighter. It just really takes away the thick coat of, of the thick line of blood that you have in there. It's,
okay. So that'll be good. That'll be later.
Which I was like, oh, yeah, because I do feel like bloated almost all month. No, almost all month. I feel bloated. So I think I'm just really excited about this. I've
well, it's going to affect right away.
I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm like, how many more periods? I could maybe only have one more period before I get this done. I'm just like, oh,
does it make you sad to get rid of your periods though? Like, does it make you? Are you like sad, kind of that you're getting older? And I am
a little bit, maybe a little bit sad, but also, I don't know. I'm owning it. I feel like this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at.
That's good.
And I feel like I've earned this a little bit. I don't know. I've had 4 kids. I've had twins. I'm like, my body's been through a lot. So
it has.
Yeah.
I think the thought of like not being able to have kids again is hard for me. I'm 47 and that ship has sailed. But I'm also like, I don't know.
You'd have another one.
If it happened,
you'd be okay with it. Oops.
I wouldn't be okay with it. I would accept it, and I would be, of course, excited. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, it would be like a really shocking shocker surprise that just that surprise will never happen like again after you. I don't know. I know there's other life surprises, but
I'm okay with that. I
know. I really wouldn't want that either, but
yep. So anyway, I just think it's funny because, like I've been so not into, I actually had an IUD after we had kids. I had an IUD for maybe 5 years or so. And, but it didn't have any,
it was the copper
hormones in it. Yes. It was the copper one. And so I was like, I don't want any, hormones. I don't want any of that. And now I'm going to bring me the hormones.
I'm going to put this light on because hopefully that doesn't look weird. It does look weird. I'm sorry. It's getting dark in here.
It's getting dark in here, yeah.
Because it's getting darker outside. And I'm just getting darker and darker. That's okay.
Well, we're gonna close down here. So
okay. So that was an atypical check-in, but that's okay. Just talked about what's going on with us.
Yes. Yeah. So please share. We would love to hear if you have any. I mean, obviously want a regular check-in from you too, if that's what you're into, to like what's going well for you, what's hard, and how are you taking care of yourself? But also, have you had experience looking at colleges? I bet some of you have. Have you had experience with perimenopause? Would love to hear you.
Or subbing. I want to hear your comments. Yeah, we'd love to hear your comments.
Absolutely.
Yep. And then don't forget to join us on Thursday in a week at 1:00 for our What We Don't Do series, our class. We'd love to have you.
Cannot wait.
Okay. Bye, everyone.